Hello and welcome. Hope everyone's doing all right. I'm doing all good. Decided to give myself a bit of a half day off. So we're going to sort out the corner of doom, which is, you can see, a bit of a dumping ground. So it's where all the utilities, as I'm going to refer to, are coming through in that corner behind the parasol at the back there. So in order to get down there and have a look, I need to have a bit of a tidy up. So we'll have a tidy up, run through it, and go from there. Okie dokie. So in true tradesman fashion, I've done 5 minutes work and then had a 15-minute tea break, so we're good to go. So we can see the pipes coming through in the corner there. It's well OTT, but it's not OTT. So just a little bit of a background. This garage runs to the front of the house, so it's quite deep, if you know what I mean. So this back room I've made into an office, which is about 2 meters deep, and then the middle third is, I'm building a utility at the moment, and then the final third is going to be just a garage for bikes and, you know, my work stuff and tins of paint and wallpaper from 3 houses ago that's never going to get used again but seems to get kept. So the gist of it is that those pipes down there in the bottom corner are all effectively sleeves that run through the office so that I could plasterboard it, and then they stick their head out in the utility, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute. And the idea being that I can just push pipes in and out of them without having to take the wall apart in the office. So if we come down and have a look, ignore my rig from last year. So this top bit is just where I had the water butt up here where this hanging basket was last year. That's where that top connection goes. And then I was connecting the irrigation up to that so that it waters the garden off of the rainwater. And the main reason for that is that we are in particularly hard water in this area. I think the guideline is for it to be classed as hard water is 50 parts per million. At last measured it was 425 around here. So yeah, crazy hard water, though I can't particularly complain because it keeps me in a job. So yeah, so you can see all these sleeves coming through. So there's basically 2/3 sizes of pipes that we're dealing with. So with the plumbing, you can see the 2 sizes there. The one running up the back is 22 mil, and then the heating pipes there are 15 mil, and the irrigation, wherever that is, this black one here coming from our left, that is effectively 15 mil as well. And then we've got these armored cables here too. So the idea being that the top 6 sleeves you can see there, the one that, you know, the top 6 pipes coming through, they are effectively 22 mil, which means that I can put 15 mil inside them, and then the bottom 3 are 1.5" or kitchen waste pipe size, and that means that I can put 22 mil through them. As you can see at the bottom there, the one under the waste pipe, the very bottom one, has got a bit of 22 mil coming through it. So let's have a look at what we need to come through here. So I'll do it like this, and then I will try and put some text on just to show what's coming through. So starting at the top, if I come back a second, this armored cable here that I've tied together, the 2 of them, that is what comes up over by the waterfall in the exact opposite corner where the waterfall will be. So one of them is for a light and the other one is for a socket. The light is just going to run up the back of there all the way up to the top and some trunking all the way to the top of there, and then drop down into that light switch there. That will mean that I can turn the light on at the back of the garden through that switch, and then I'll run some lights in and around the pergola off of that switch as well, so you don't have to worry about the light cable going through. So it's just the mains cable. So what I'll need to do is use that top one that's slightly sunk into the wall, put a junction box there, terminate the armored cable into that, and then run a wire through the wall, come out the other end in the utility and run it up to the fuse board and put it on its own circuit for that. So that's one of them. So the top one is going to be the armored cable for the outside socket, and then with the rest of the 22 mil sleeves, so this is all going to be 15 mil pipe. What I'm going to need is a hot tap. That is for if I ever get a hot tub out here, it's a lot more cost effective to run it off to fill it up off the gas boiler than it is to fill it up with cold water and let the thing heat it up itself. So we'll have a hot tap out here. Then we want a mains cold tap, so that's for like filling paddling pools, and if everything goes horribly wrong, I've still got an outside tap I can just use off of the hose. And then the two pipes that you can see coming out there already are the flow and returns. That's for my heating circuit. We tested the theory of that last year, it worked, so I can tidy up that pipe work now and make that look a lot better. But that was just testing the theory, that's why it looks a little bit rough there coming out. And then the last one is going to be for a cold tap off of the water butts, so that I can just fill up watering cans off of the water butts without having to go through the house, because they're all out the front now, which we'll see in a minute. So that takes care of those top 6 22mm pipes. That'll 22mm sleeves, so that'll all be 15 coming through. And then the bottom 3, you can see one of them there is already the waste from the utility, so that's got a washing machine on it and the sink and the boiler condense in the utility. And then I'm going to have the gravity irrigation off of that as well, so that will come through and then just tap into the irrigation which does the flower beds. And then we're going to have a pumped irrigation as well. And then going on from the pumped irrigation, so the pumped irrigation is going to be so that I can use my sprayers to create my mist sprays and anything that's going to be high up that needs watering, you know, higher than the gravity circuit. So it needs to be on a pump, which is going to, we'll have a look at in a minute, which is going to be on the inside in the utility. But then also what I want to try and do is have a tap off of that pumped irrigation, so that I can run the hose pipe off of pumped irrigation, if that makes sense. Off the irrigation, if that makes sense. So you may have noticed it's quite a lot of stuff. Luckily I am a plumber, and I've got loads of odds and sods that I can use for it around just to make it up, so I don't have to buy everything new. So yeah, so you probably noticed that that's quite a lot of taps. It's actually 4 taps in total. It's a hot tap, a cold main tap, and then 2 off the irrigation, one of it being just one that I can fill up with watering cans, and then one that I need some pressure behind to do the hose pipe with if needed. And then going on from that, I need to think of the layout of this area a bit, because if I do get a hot tub, and I probably am going towards that I will do, I'll get one of those square ones from B&Q, and I've measured it up, and it's basically 4 of these patio stones by 4 of these patio stones. So if you think of where that brush is there, if I had it there, it would come out to this one that the pig's on, that row, and then it's 4 deep off of the house in the old patio, so it should sit in there snug as a rug, snug as a bug in a rug. And then it will come to this corner here in the bottom right, that will be the edge of it there. So what I'm getting at is that I don't want to rack 4 taps in that corner right next to all that lot under that wood, say, or under the window, and then put a hot tub up and not be able to get to anything. So that means running them across to this area here. Now I'm going to have either side of the kitchen window, I'm going to build a couple of planters up just so I can run some climbers up each side of the window. And then when we get to this bit, we've got a nice little section, so I figure if I put a kind of bar in there, if you see what I mean, like a little worktop, and then I could have a couple of bar stools up against it, and then underneath it, if I run all the pipes just straight from that corner all the way across here, and then any gubbings I'm going to have, put it here. And then what I can do is kind of build off a box in the whole length of the wall, if you like, and then face it up with some wood, so you know it looks quite nice and you can't see it. And then just have a little access hatch underneath the bar that I can pull down and get to the taps, and then that'll keep it hidden and the wife happy ish. So that's the plan, is to run it all the way over here, and then anything else can just be clipped in. But we'll get into that another time. For now, what I need to do is just test the theory on 2 things, because there's no point in me doing all that work, racking it all in there lovely, and then go to turn it on and nothing works. So the 2 things that I need to check, or else I'm gonna have to have a bit of a rethink, are that the 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 shower pump will work off the irrigation. It will make the sprayers that we've got up, there's a few of them around, but if you look up on this wood here, there's one there which is above all the tree ferns, and there's a few more dotted around where they need to be. So make sure that it runs them okay. And also the hose down there works okay if I put a tap on the shower pump. And then the second thing is that because of the way it's working, I won't need to get into it, but effectively the gravity irrigation needs two feeds coming through, one a 22 which will connect to the irrigation and be okay, and then one 15 because I'm going to run it off a timer, or effectively I'm going to be able to do it off of my phone, but we'll get into that another time. So where the little valve is that opens it up that I can do remotely, I need to take the tap feed off before that, otherwise if I haven't got the irrigation turned on, I won't be able to fill up the watering can. So I need to make sure that I can run a 15mm pipe through the wall off of the feed on the inside, and that it will come out reasonably well into a watering can. I'm sure it will do, but we're just, those are the two things I just got to check now, and then once we check that and we know it all works all right, it's just doing some plumbing, which won't take me too long, but we'll do that another video. So we'll go on, I'll collate up a load of bits, we'll get it all set up, we'll go and have a look at the rig on the inside, just the temporary one, and then we'll fire it up and see how we do. Okay, so just starting to rain now. Good timing as ever, but you can see my temporary rig I've set up. I've had to shunt it over here because the irrigation that I set up, the pumped irrigation, which is off of the red tape there, which I was using off that tap, it doesn't stretch all the way over there. I can obviously amend that at a later date, but for now, just to get the theory done, we'll test it on here. So this pipe that runs off all the way over there effectively runs into the shower pump, and then I've got a blue lever there so I can turn it off. We've got the cold tap, the tap there, which is on the hose pipe, so I'll turn that off. So what I'll do is we're going to have a quick look in a minute, just for why not sake, but then I'll turn the pump on. I can then come out here, open up the blue lever valve, that will then run it through the irrigation off of the pump if it still works, and then we can test the pumped irrigation and make sure that that all sprays out nicely and does what it's supposed to do. And then I will take that bit off the end, put a blank on it, turn it back on again and check it out of the hose pipe, and then I'll have to rejig it to test just the gravity cold tap for filling up the watering can. So let's go in and have a quick look in the other corner of doom, which is in the utility. So let's head in there. Okay, I'm going to use a flashlight because I haven't got the lights hooked up in here yet. You can see I'm building the walls and insulating them and whatnot. So there's where all the pipes stick through. I will cut them back short to the wall and tidy it all up once we know it all works, but for now we're just worried about this bottom one. It comes through, there's the pump, and then the pipe coming off to our sort of bottom left runs off to the water butts. So important with shower pumps in any situation is to get rid of the air. So what I'm going to do is just let it run through the pump with no power to it until it comes out the other end, so then I'll know all the air's out of the system, out of all the pipes, and then we'll come and turn it on and see what happens. So just in case you're wondering and didn't see the last one, 3 water butts hooked up, all piped up together, and then 2 feeds. So the one for the red will be for the pumped irrigation, and then the blue one, which is hooked up to now, will do the gravity. But we're just testing the theory, it doesn't make any difference. So let's turn it on and find out. Okie dokie, so I've just popped that irrigation off for a second, just because obviously need somewhere for it to come out of. So we'll turn this lever on and hopefully we'll get some water come out. Or not. Huh. What's going on there? That valve's open. Nothing blocking anything there. Huh. Let's go and have an investigation. Okay, we're going. So It's not exactly amazing flow rate, but obviously it's going to have a pump on it in a minute. But yeah, so what that was an airlock between where I'd connected it onto the water butts and the pump. It kind of did a bit of up and down because it was a coil of pipe and it was airlock, so just had to open it up before the pump, take that pipe off and just let it run through there first, and now it's coming through all right. So that's good. So we have water coming through, we've got no air. So next thing is we'll connect that up, turn the power on, and then come out and turn it on and see what happens. Okay, power's on. It's making a humming noise, which could be good or bad. So I guess there's only one thing to do. Let's see what happens. Unfortunately, not a lot. Okay, yeah, so probably the first thing I should have done was check the shower pump worked. There we go. So yeah, it's not working, it's just humming, so it sounds like it's trying to turn but it can't turn. So I'm wondering if it's being sat in a garage with minus temperatures. Probably was the best idea I've ever had in the world over winter. So yeah, I just tried to sort of take the filters apart and try it and recharge that little vessel we've got. Still not doing it, but I fancy, I've got nothing to lose. I got this for free out of a job, so I'm just wondering if the impeller is inside there with those convenient 4 Allen keys. So I'm going to give it a quick we're definitely getting out the realms of gardening now. So I'm going to pop that off. I've got nothing to lose, so I'm going to pop that off and just see if there's something stuck in the impeller, and you know, try that and just see if I've got a feeling if it'll go, if I can get it going, then it'll go. If you know what I mean, it's probably just where it's stuck. Might be a bit of sediment at the bottom that's settled where it hasn't been moved for 6 to 8 months. So we'll give it a go, see what happens. I'll show you, if you're interested, I'll show you the inside of that in a second. Okay, so in case you're interested, we've got this spindle in here. So yeah, it's obviously, there's a wet pocket in there. That is, I can't turn that, and it's boiling hot as well. So I think I'm going to use my grips, just see if I can. Oh, it's stiff. Oh, there we go, we've got some movement now. Oh yeah, so it goes all right that way, but then it gets stuck there. I'm gonna have a look, give it a wiggle, move it around, let it cool down, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, right, let's plug it in and see what happens. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, let's go and have a look at the front. Right, that is definitely a lot better. So I don't really want to turn the pump off. I want to let it run for a bit so that it frees it up. So let's just try and shove this straight on the irrigation. Not sure I'm going to be able to do that one-handed, so yeah, 2 seconds. Okay, I think we're in business. So you can see I've got some like major leaks here and there, and I haven't disconnected those droppers, but that sprayer there is spraying. That one up there is spraying. They're not lined up right, but I don't worry about that just at the moment. So I fancy that that is a successful you know, thing. Happy days. Right, let's test the hose pipe. Okay, it's a bit temperamental, that pump, but it's probably just where it's not been used for so long, but that looks pretty good. Let's so I'm gonna have to keep this undone. If I put it on, let's try it on that spray setting. I'm gonna get wet here, or we're gonna get wet, whichever way you want to look at it. So I need to keep it down. Let's put that little thing on. Oh. Right, okay, let's get wet. Click in. Yeah, nice. Good settings. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. So the theory works. Right, again, turn that off so I don't overheat the pump. Okay, sorry that was a bit hectic. I'm pretty sure the footage isn't going to be great on that, but I apologise for that. So yeah, I mean, theory wise that all works fine, so that is extremely happy days. That means I can have an outside tap off the irrigation with the pressure, so that's good, to run the hose pipe, and I can run my spray irrigation if I get any more around, or I want to put anything high up, you know, like water these pots on irrigation for example, then I can do that as well. So that's quite good. So the next phase of that is going to be all the gubbins on the inside, which we'll get to on another date, like setting it up so I can run it off my phone and whatnot. And yeah, so that's good. Right, next thing is the last thing, which is going to be, I need to chop the pump out of the circuit, and then run 15 mil from the pipe coming off the, you know, effectively where it goes into the pump, turn that into 15 mil, run a 15 mil through pipe through there, and then put that outside tap onto that, and then check that it's okay to fill a water butt up on. I'm sure it will be. In fact, I might not even bother, just because I know it's going to be okay, because it was coming through. Well, yeah, let's do it anyway, just to doubly make sure. Better safe than sorry. So I'll rig all that up, we'll have a quick look, and then that'll do that for today. Right, okay, so it does work. Flow rate's not great, but I think that is because that tap has got what's called a check valve in it, which is basically like a, it's the cat, no wonder that fern's wrecked. So yeah, it's a one-way street, so the theory of it is so that it doesn't contaminate the main if anything goes wrong. So if you leave water in your hose pipe in the sun all day, it gets rubber and bacteria in it. If the main goes in the road and it sucks all the water back in, it can't suck that water back in and contaminate it. So I think that's restricting the flow a little bit. I seem to remember having this issue last year, so I'm happy that's going to work. I'll find a tap that hasn't got one, or I'll take the ones out of that and do it again. But other than that, I think we've had a successful day. So the next one of these will be me putting it all, when I've done the utility and plasterboarded it all and can get the clips in there, we'll run it all in nice and tidy up all this mess around here, get all the rest of it in, and go from there with it. Anyway, see you next time. Thanks for watching.